everybody. Welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. I hope you are all having a good week so far. I know it just started. If you do not know, I'm Kat, the nurse flipper. I'm joined by my co-host, Rod, picking and punching. Below me is Dennis, freaking flipper, and then catty corner me is Scott from Fisher Flips. So Dennis has been on with us before. This is Scott's first time. So their links, Marcia will share them in the chat for you throughout the show. And then they're also in the description for you guys too. I'm going to make Dennis and Scott big, let them introduce themselves. Get your questions in early. Last week, we actually answered all the questions. It was the first time in a long time. So I was happy with that. We got through all of them, but get them in early. So here is Dennis.
What's going on, guys? Dennis, the freaking flipper. I hail from Massachusetts, a tiny little resort town called Cape Cod, and all the tourists are gone now. Thank you very much. I sell on eBay primarily. I do a little bit of clothing on Poshmark and Facebook Marketplace. Scott and I do a half craft beer, half reselling podcast called Pints and Profits Show, and we're kind of in the infancy stage of that. So glad to be here, and I'm psyched to answer any questions you guys have. So let's go.
All right, here's Scott.
Hey guys, Scott here from Fisher Flips. I live in Albany, New York. I have been selling since 2019, primarily on eBay. I'm an only clothing seller, so it's eBay and Poshmark. And like Dennis said, we have a show, Pints and Profits, and get the questions ready.
Perfect. All right, we have quite a few already in the queue. All right, Lisa is first, and she says, I got a negative feedback and need to know if I have to ask the buyer to change it or can I go directly to eBay?
Okay, so just a regular negative comment, nothing you can do to help out. Have you tried to reach out to the buyer is what I would do first. And then there is a way that you can ask for a, they revise it. And sometimes that works. I haven't had huge success with that. But if it's a legitimate negative or, it's really not going to affect you too much unless you're a brand new buyer. I try not to let it bother me. I'll reach out to the buyer and say, hey, is there anything I can do to fix it? If there is, let me know. If there's not, no big deal. Sometimes you just cannot make buyers happy. Sometimes you can't. So reach out to them first, ask for a revision. If that doesn't work, you can try eBay. A lot of the times they'll say there's nothing we can do about it. So just move on to the next sale and keep on going.
Yeah, so with being the only clothing seller, I try to keep my feedback rate 100%. So if I see anything comes in with a negative, I'll message the buyer, like Dennis said, and see if there's anything we can work out. Sometimes it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, I'll contact eBay directly through Facebook. I think it was Messenger, Facebook for Business. And sometimes they'll work through it and get rid of that negative feedback for me. But I don't think it really matters.
So for me, I always try to reach out to the buyer. But one thing I will tell you is when people leave negative feedback, it's usually they're very emotional. They're pissed off. They just got something. They're very unhappy with it. And the first thing is they're upset and they want to do some type of action. So I find that taking 24 hours to reach out to the buyer, give them time to cool down after you get the negative feedback, has worked tremendously compared to trying to reach out to the buyer as soon as I get the negative feedback. So I usually wait till the next day. I'll message the buyer first. I said, hey, I'm so sorry you're unhappy with the item, and I'll try to rectify the situation any way I can. I also explain to them, hey, I'm a small business. I want to make sure this is work, make sure you're happy. So, if I could fix the situation, I'll send them a message, hey, I really appreciate it. If, so we got things worked out, I was able to get this thing, if you can revise your feedback, and you can actually put in a feedback revision request. Now, I've had instances where the buyer has been a complete a-hole and I wasn't able to do any of that. And they just, in that point in time, there's nothing you can really do. You could try to contact eBay, but it's not like you used to with eBay. eBay is not going to do much with it. The only way that eBay will take it down is if they leave something that's a false statement in the negative feedback, or they leave any type of derogatory mark, or they any type of threat or anything like that. Then it's automatically, you don't even have to contact the buyer. You can automatically just have it removed. Contact eBay. You can actually request it on the website, and then there's a thing down saying that this is false information, or buyers making it's like something in there about buyers making threats, something like that, and then they'll automatically remove it for you. I've had that situation happen where I don't even contact the buyer, and I can just have it taken care of.
Yeah, so I think the big thing is don't ask them unless you know they're happy, because if you haven't made them happy, there's no point in asking them. They're not going to change it, and you only get one chance at a revision. So once you ask for a revision, I think it's like 24 or 48 hours they have to change it. And if they don't, then you can never ask again. I put in the link because I actually saved this to my favorites, where you can go on eBay and request that the feedback be removed. I got it removed for one using that link. Rod pretty much covered, the negative. And if they do feedback extortion, like if they're in messages saying, if you don't give me a refund, I'm going to give you negative feedback, they will remove it for that. But don't send that revision unless you think that they are willing to change it. I had one, I talked about this a few weeks ago. They got 2 cups. They said 1 cup was shipped. They bought 2 of the same cup from 2 different sellers. They left neutral. It wasn't even negative. And I'm like, hey, I know my cup wasn't shipped. This was not my cup. And I sent the revision, like without hearing back from them, and they changed it. But that was a neutral. It wasn't a negative. So I wasn't going to be affected if they didn't. But they changed it for me. So yeah, you can ask eBay, but they're very, very strict now. They used to remove a lot more than they do now. They don't remove a lot much anymore.
Yeah, and if the buyers message you back, say that, well, I'm not going to do it unless I get a refund or anything like along those lines, then automatically eBay will remove it. So
yeah, then you've got them on extortion.
Yeah, don't give in to like, I need a partial refund before I remove it, or a full refund. There's a lot of new sellers out there that would automatically just issue the full refund or the partial refund because they want 100% feedback, but that's an automatic removal from eBay. So you can automatically just have it removed based off the messages, because eBay can see every single message that you send to the buyer, and the buyer sends you.
Yeah, and they will go look. So watch how you talk to your buyer as well. eBay has called me on being not so nice to buyers in the past. So
no, not you, Pat.
No, never. I would never be me. T. Messer says, what would cause an item payment to be on hold other than reasons listed on eBay? I had an item, the money wasn't released until the item was delivered, and none of the reasons are listed on eBay.
That's a good question. I don't think I've had that issue. Have you checked like your payment institution, make sure they can, release the money through your bank and make sure all of that is correct? That's probably deserving a phone call. I mean, I would call them up and ask, what can I do? Is there anything wrong? Can you check my account?
Yeah. So, I think when I first started selling on eBay, they would hold your funds for a certain amount of time. But that after a certain amount of time, that went away. So maybe she's a new seller. Maybe the funds are being held for that time frame. But yeah, maybe call eBay and see what's going on.
So eBay has a new policy in place, and this could be it. I don't know if it was a big ticket item. If it's something outside your norm, it will flag. eBay has a system now that will give a red flag in their system, and they'll hold that money until the actual complete. So I don't know if you guys ever watched the Reselling Information Network, Cernock that's on there. He's been selling on eBay for years. Great feedback on there, everything else. Sells a ton of shirts. He sold a $2,000 Harley Davidson shirt on there because it was something outside of his norm. He's not normally selling $2,000 items or $1,000 items. Most stuff that they got, so he's selling $50, $100, $150 items. And eBay froze his payment for, I think, 7 to 10 days to investigate, to make sure the money got there, make sure the item got there first, and everything was taken care of before they released the money. Mm-hmm. So you guys got to be very careful when you are selling big ticket items, because sometimes it would flag it. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It's just a step that eBay is putting in place to protect the buyer and sellers in that process.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, it might have just been out of the norm. They can hold it for any reason. They don't have to have a reason. And I mean, if you think about it, the other platforms all hold it. Like Poshmark holds it, Mercari holds it. They all hold it till that delivery is completed. So for me, I'm okay with that as long as it's not like excessive. If you know, and it seems like you already got it because you said it wasn't released. So it has been released at this point. But yeah, they can just, as long as it's not repetitive that they're holding my money, I wouldn't throw a fit. Yeah. So Susan says she started selling on eBay 2 weeks ago, sold a $300 item, and they held the payment for 2 weeks. That is going to be standard. If you're a new seller, them holding all of your payments is going to be pretty standard because they don't know if you're a scammer. You could be mailing out empty boxes. You know, they don't know exactly what you're doing. And people have scammed people for a lot of money in a quick amount of time because you can go out there and say, like, you're selling Sony PS5s, put up some pictures, and that's what, like $500-600 a pop. 10 of those is $5,000. If they release that money, you know, you'd have a nice chunk of change.
Speaking of that, Kat, that reminded me, during the pandemic, you know, that's when the PS5 actually came out, and people were buying them for $550. They were flipping them for over $1,000 and stuff like that. Well, what a lot of Amazon sellers were doing, they were literally setting up bots on eBay. So as soon as the item would be newly listed on eBay, it would automatically purchase the item if it was in an X amount of like money. So what people started doing is they started selling a picture of a PS5 for $599 because the bots would automatically click it and it would automatically buy it for them. And it said in the description, this is a picture and not getting a PS5. And the title said PS5 picture, but the bots didn't register and we were just buying them off eBay. So
awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy. All right. Miss Elena, Treasure Diva Thrifts, says, how have you handled if you have given a buyer a pretty good deal and they want to combine shipping with other items? So, like, if you gave them a discount on, like, the items, are you still going to combine that shipping for them?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't normally make money on shipping. I don't try to make money on shipping. I have a store, so I get a discount, and that discount goes to me for my time, my packaging materials, my boxes, and all of that. But I make it a habit to combine shipping for anything. It's not going to cost me anything more. I purely charge by weight and dimensions. So if they ask 99% of the time, sure, no problem. Recently, I've been having a lot of international buyers wanting to buy multiple things and then combine shipping, but for some reason we still can't do that. But yeah, I would go ahead and combine it. Why not? It's good customer service.
Yeah, same here, Dennis. So I have set shipping prices. Anything under £1 is $6.99. Anything over £1 is $8.99. Simple, easy with clothing. I do get multiple purchases of clothing items, and they'll message me, hey, I just bought 2 shirts. It's coming out to be $15. Can you combine shipping? I have no problem with that. But, you know, they have to ask me first. I'm not going to automatically just combine shipping without the buyer asking me. So, yeah, I have no problem at all.
So I always try to give good customer service. I try to combine shipping on my items, but I will. So let's just say if a buyer buys 3 items for me, and let's say it's $5 shipping for each item, that total is $15, and it costs me, say, $10 to ship those 3 items. I may give them a $3 refund, not a $5 refund, because we're also paying taxes on all the, you know, all the shipping and everything else, all the money that we take in. Because back in the day, people used to set items on eBay for $1, and with $50 shipping, that's the way they worked around us. And now eBay charges us fees on the shipping and the cost of the item. So keep that in mind, guys. Also, too, remember you have boxes, you have other supplies that are, you know, factor into your business. So I always keep maybe an extra $1 or $2 from it when I do combine shipping, but I will issue them a refund. I'm just trying to offset my costs.
Yeah, and for me, I don't combine unless they ask. Like, if they don't ask me, unless it's ridiculous. I've had some that they've overpaid by like $40 or $50. Like, I'm not going to keep that. But if it's like between $5 and $10 and they don't ask me for a refund, I'm not going to issue it. If they do ask me, Like to me, those are two separate things, right? So if I give them a good deal, that's a good deal. That has nothing to do with the shipping. And if I give them a good deal because they're buying 3 things, again, totally separate from the shipping, I'm willing, if they ask to combine, I give a discount. But again, like Rod said, I take into consideration like the fees that are going to be on that, the taxes that are going to be on it. So I don't give a whole, exactly what is left over. Plus you've got a box because I'm doing the exact cost now. I'm still passing the discount on to buyers. So I'm going to keep the cost of my box. If it was $1.50, $2 box or whatever, I'm going to keep that too. I had one though in Cali that I combined and I only had like $3 left over to give them. And they bought 3 items, but they were all heavy. And it was going to California. And I was like, I'm sorry, but like, this is legit all that's left over. It was sand paintings and they were just heavy because they're on wood board. And they didn't get mad. They didn't say anything to me, but just be careful. Don't make yourself lose money on it. But I will give people discounts if they're buying like 3 or 4 items, but I don't think it, I don't think the two should be considered the same. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say like I gave you a deal, I'm not going to give you back your money on shipping, as I guess what I'm trying to say. All right. Kelly has vintage Playboys and she sees that some graded ones go for a lot more. So how should she decide if she has certain ones that should be graded because she knows that the grading costs money?
Yeah.
You want to take this one? Because I agree.
I mean, I get because why? Because you read it for the articles.
I grade stuff all the time, so I'm
okay. I just read the articles. But I would, for me personally, really quick, I would just do some research, see which ones are being graded and sold at a high level, and then maybe see if you have those ones. But yeah, I think Rod can go more with that.
Rod's a Playboy expert.
I'm gonna pass it right to Rod.
So one of my auction videos, I actually went to the auction house and I bought I think 150 vintage Playboys from like the 60s and 70s. I paid $35 for them. I got and I sold them off to a viewer who had an antique stand. But when it comes to grading, so you have to know the cost. So if you guys ever think of getting anything graded, know the cost of grading, and then you want to look at your options. What the highest grade would be, and what is the lowest potential grade that you can get on that thing. So if you think, they grade on a scale of like a 9.8 is considered like the top of the line for those. And this is say a 9.8 is going for $300, and you could potentially get an 8 on it. 8's only go for $100. It may not be worth getting it graded for you, but you just want to look at the upside on there and potentially worth getting graded. So the cost to get a magazine graded to CGC is $30. Now, before you get your magazine or any type of comic book graded, you always want to make sure you can set yourself up to get the best grade possible. So what you would do is you would send it off to a presser. What a presser is just like taking your dress shirt to like the dry cleaner. They're going to put it in a machine. They're going to press it down. They put a little piece of paper over it and it presses it and it pulls like a little top line of dirt off it. And it makes all your pages look crisp and flat. And that will get you a higher grade. But that's going to cost you probably another additional $10 to $20. So for you to get that Playboy graded and pressed, you're probably looking at about a $50 investment right off the bat. And then you got to pay for shipping there and shipping back. So I always tell people when they're looking at cards, comic books, magazines, you're probably more, if you don't want to get into grading, then more than likely you're better off just selling it raw as is, because the amount of time it goes through, and if you make a costly mistake when it goes to grading, you can lose any potential value you may have on that, because if you send it in, it comes back at a 5 and a 5's going for $50, well, you just spent $50 to get a thing. Now you're just breaking even or losing money on the deal. So I always tell people, approach with caution if you are thinking about getting something graded, or go talk to someone who does grading, have them look at what that could potentially do. And you can go to comic book shops. Comic book shop would be a good start, even though it's a magazine. They will be able to take a look at it and say, hey, I think we're getting this graded. And actually a local comic book shop may even be able to take it in and do the grading process for you. They'll send it off, because a lot of comic book shops actually have deals as a dealer through the grading companies, where they get a discount and they do bulk submissions. So people drop off the books, the comic book shop will take care of the pressing and take care of the shipping and do there for you. But more than likely, you're probably better off just selling it raw. as is. So,
All right. Rod's the expert.
The
all
chat is on fire right now.
all about the Playboys right now.
yeah.
Or sticking to the Farmer's Almanac, or I don't know. Amber wants to know if we have any tips on balancing work and personal life. Working at home can be difficult, especially listing daily.
Yeah, this is the secret of the entire thing, right? I mean, that balancing act. I still have not perfected it. My wife is a teacher, so she's the first one out the door in the morning, and then my kids are gone at school, and I'm here alone. Well, now with an 8-week-old puppy, which is now conflicting with the balance again. But it's very difficult. It's something that there isn't one answer for, at least in my opinion. It's something you have to work towards and work with on a daily and weekly basis. You definitely deserve personal time, quiet time, vacations, walks on the beach, stuff like that to clear your head. And you also have to be, committed to what you're trying to do. And for me, that's easy. I will be down here as long as I can possibly be because I love it and I love working and taking pictures and listing and all that stuff. It's the other side that's difficult for me, the dinners and the homework and the nightly routines. It's just really hard. I don't have a solid answer for you other than it's work. It is a thing that where you're going to have to, figure out what works best for you, what works best for the other people in your house, and compromise. That's it.
Yeah. So for me, I work a regular full-time job. So me and my wife run the eBay. I work my full-time job. So while I'm working my job, my wife's doing my eBay listings. So when I come home from work every night, I take all the photos for her for the day before, lay them out. We do 15 a day. She does all listings. She puts them all in drafts. When I get home from work, I look at them, make sure it's good, and I launch them. And then I just take more photos, and that's it. So my work-life balance is pretty easy on my end because I'm working my job. She's doing the listings. I come home, maybe an hour's worth of work, and then I'm done. The weekends for us is sourcing. So we'll do the sourcing on Saturday, usually to the bins. We drive a few hours to go to the bins. But we do the best we can with just kind of separating and not working all day.
So for me, I've been a full-time eBay seller for many, many years. I've been selling on eBay since 1999, but I did work a full-time job as well. And so as practically had my eBay business was pretty much like a full-time job. So I was pretty much working 2 full-time jobs. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I will say is I like to take photos on my phone because any downtime I have, no matter if I go to pick up my stepson at school and I got to sit in the parking lot for 15, 20 minutes, I'm listing 1, 2, 3 items as I'm sitting there. When I used to work my day job during my lunch break, I would sit there and list 2, 3 items. When I'm eating my breakfast, I list 1 or instead of scrolling through my phone, just looking at Facebook or like Instagram, like a lot of people do. I'm listing items. So I always like to take a bunch of photos. I batch. One of the things I would tell you to do is batch your photos. So maybe take like 50 items. You can literally take up the photos of your items, put it on a scale, take a picture of the item on the scale so you know the weight. And then if you need to take the dimensions, take a picture of the dimensions so you have it all there. That's one thing I do so that I can list anywhere I want to. Also too, if you're having a problem at balancing at home and maybe your family around everything else, go to a coffee shop. They have free Wi-Fi. You could sit there, put on headphones, peace of quiet there. A change of environment does wonders for you. I will tell you because I used to do that all the time. But I mean, you just got to find ways to do it. And I would set goals for myself. So I would in the morning, okay, before lunch, I want to have 5 items listed. And then, okay, before dinner, I'm going to have another 5 items listed. That was my goal. So I would set little mini goals throughout the day. And so instead of trying to get 20 listings done, I would do it in chunks, 5 before I went to work, 3 while I was at, on my lunch break, while I quit quietly, as they call it. I literally had a desk job. I was doing medical sales, and I would literally just work at my desk as I was working my day job. Now, not everyone can do that, but I mean, I was able to balance both at the same time because one, I hated my job and I wanted to leave, but you just got to find ways to trick yourself. And I have my wife who's a registered nurse, and her schedule is crazy. So some days she's off, some days. So when she's off, it drives me crazy sometimes because I have my system in place. I'm going to get stuff done, but then she's playing with the dog. She's doing other stuff. So that throws off my day because she's not, her schedule is not consistent. Kat knows that. When Kat worked as a nurse, so your schedule was all over. So like, for example, tonight she's on call till 7 a.m. So she's at the house on call. So she may get up in the middle of the night and go. So sometimes I try to work my schedule around them so I can hang out with them during the day. She has to be up at 5 a.m. So she goes to bed, like she's in bed right now. So that's a good time for me to do work in the evening. So you don't always have to work the regular 9 to 5 schedule. I used to get up an hour early before my kid and before my wife got up to work an hour while the pets were sleeping and they were sleeping, just for the fact that I was able to get so much done in that time.
Yeah, so for me, like it's really, really hard. It's a little bit easier with Dalton back in school because I have like 6 to 7 hours while he's gone, so I don't have to worry about that. I have been sick almost a week. So like, and it's just like a cold, but I can't think. So I have not been getting listings up because my brain is just, it's so frustrating. So I'm like really behind on stuff right now, and it's okay though. Like you have to give yourself grace sometimes too. I would say set your goal, and some days you're going to get done more than you're going to get done on others, and make the time. Like we're going Friday, we're going down to the Tampa Bay Rays game. This, the season's ending. I wanted to get in one more game with Dalton before the season ended. So like whatever is happening Friday, that will happen. I have over 100 drafts sitting there right now, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get that done. But it's hard. And I think it's really hard, especially when you throw in content creating, because like our schedule is so hectic, right? Like I know, especially like Rod has 3 channels. I have 2. So almost every day I'm having to edit a video, put a video up. I still need to get listings up. And there's only so much you can do during the day. But like yesterday, like 4 o'clock, I'm like, Dalton, let's go ride down the dirt road. Me and Dalton just took off, went riding down the dirt road for a couple of hours. And you need to do that. You got to I have to make myself make that family and personal time. I'm a workaholic. I will work. If I don't tell myself like, you gotta stop. So I think if you're like me, you gotta make yourself, take that time out, and you might need to schedule. Like me, like I bought tickets to the game Friday, right? So I'm going. Like there's no question about that. Paid for tickets. I'm going. Sporadic stuff like riding down the dirt road. You just gotta. I have Jello brain too. Kat, start listening to you. That is great advice for me to listen to myself. That is really great advice. I should try that.
Donna made a good point though. Remember, it's just because like I have 3 channels, you have 2 channels. We're doing all this stuff. That doesn't mean, to compare yourself to us. That's a big thing. Don't compare yourself to someone else. Like work at your own pace. And one thing that me and Kat would tell you, we scaled up. We didn't just jump into having 2 channels, 3 channels at one time. Like I had my one channel, my pick and punch channel. I put out 1 video till I started mastering. Then I started putting out 2 videos a week. Same with Kat. Like Kat started mastering 1 video, then she started putting out 2. She started doing her live. She started doing a second channel because it wasn't that she was able to, she had more time in the day to do stuff. She didn't. She was able to do those things more effective. When you're be able to get systems in place to be more effective, guys, you're able to take on more at the same time. So that's the biggest thing. So for me, if you're having a hard time with stuff, like doing your listings, I would recommend sitting down one day and just knocking out like 50 or 100 drafts and just you have them in there. And then that way you can work off those, but you spend one day batching all those drafts, keep them there. And then when you have the family there and you have that balance, then you can just pop those drafts and work on other things. So I work better for me personally when I batch my videos, I batch my photos, I batch my listings. Because it's one of those things where if you remember when you were in school and you used to write like you sit down to write a paper and you get writer's block and you're just sitting there for like a half an hour staring at a blank screen. But once you get started, then you could write out 5 pages in an hour because you were in the flow of things. Same thing with your business. Once you get in the flow of things, it makes things very smooth and easy. So that's why I prefer batching items, because it allows me to work at a faster pace, because I'm doing repetition, the same thing over and over again. So I get more faster and more efficient along the way.
Would you?
Yeah, and I might need to cut down to 5
Sorry.
too. Oh, go ahead, Dennis. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's similar to what we're talking about. For the newer sellers, would you recommend them go a certain number of listings per day or a certain time? So I'm going to list for 30 minutes versus I'm going to list 5. I tend to tell people just set a time frame, and it doesn't matter how many you get. You're getting the hang of things, and then you can go with, I'm going to do 5 a day, 10 a day, 15 a day.
J-Ride Flips, he actually works on a time. He actually doesn't work on amount of listings. So that's something he does. Kamala Picker actually just adopted that way too. What about you, Fisher? What do you think?
I think it's getting yourself on a routine. I had today off of work, so I have a set routine. I get up, I work on my spreadsheet a little bit. I do all my listings, get that done by a certain amount of time. Then I work on so I have a TikTok page as well. Set aside a time to make some videos for TikTok, get those in drafts, post them, and just make content for the stuff I'm doing, and get those ready. But yeah, a lot of it I think is routine as well.
So I would say for me, the answer to Dennis's question there too is I do a hybrid model. So you can either set a time frame on list as many items as possible. I've done that. And I've also say, hey, I'm going to list X amount of items per day. But when I talk about the hybrid model, it has to be a dollar amount, because I am full time. So if I list if I list for an hour straight and I'm listing $5 items, that's not going to be sustainable for my business.
Right.
If I list 50 items at $5 an item, that's $250. That's not going to be sustainable for me and my business. So I have to work off a hybrid model where, yes, I can sit there and do it an hour and just list as many things as possible, but I have to make sure I'm listing items that hit a certain criteria. So I want to do at least $500 per day. Now, do I hit that every day? No, but I want to get at least a minimum of $500 worth of items listed on eBay, and that includes if I list one item for $500, if I don't have a lot of stuff to do that day, or if I'm listing 100 items at $5 an item. I just need to get sure. For me, it's more important for me to actually have the dollar amount, because I'm full time, so I can keep that cash flow coming in. But what about you, Kat? Do you focus more on say the amount of listings, or maybe a time frame of listing?
I just do as much as I can do with the time I've got. Again,
Yep.
it's so hard for us, being content creators, because we've got so much going on than a typical reseller. We've got the social media aspect of it. But I would say, for me, my advice would depend on if that new reseller is depending on or needing that income. So if you need that income, I would say throw the time out the window, and you need to hit a dollar amount. So if you want to make $100 in sales a day, you need to be listing $100 in listings, whether that's an hour or 5 hours. If you're just doing it for extra spare money, you're just starting off, it's just a hobby, then I think that time limit could be okay. But I really think, like I said, the end goal is what's important. If you need that money, and that amount of time you're putting in isn't going to get the money you need, then that's when I think you would need to change it, if that makes sense.
Now, I think going back to Dennis's thing about he focuses on time. Dennis is an experienced reseller, so he's not listing $2, $3 items in there. You're listing items that are going to have $30, $40, $50 turnarounds on those items. So you're going to hit those numbers regardless. So you got to just find what works best for you in your business, just like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to vary depending on your situation. You really, like I said, you got to look at, do you need the money, or are you just trying to get started, or what your situation is. Like me, when I need the money, I'm going to put a lot more time into it than if I was just doing it for a hobby.
I do recommend that people try both, see what they like, see what works, because for Kat, Kat was stuck in her ways for the longest time on here. Now Kat's changing up her store. She's not running sales anymore. She's listing items at market value. You're doing all kind of different things on here.
You can oh my gosh, I can't talk. You can teach an old dog new tricks. I am very, very hard-headed, and I was very, very set in my ways, but I have changed a lot of things and how I'm doing things, that I'm more open to, trying different things and seeing how it's working. Like we don't do the automatic markups anymore. And I don't run sales all the time. I've changed a lot. I really, and Rod, I don't know if you remember Mel talking about it when she was on back from Burnout. I really want to get a newsletter out because our sales have been slow. And Shannon, my friend that's been helping me source, she's like, when I used to do eBay, I would do a newsletter blast and I would get a lot of sales. So that's really one of the things I've been meaning to do. But again, I've been sick. I can't think. And yeah. Lala sent us a $4.99 super chat. Oh, go ahead.
I would say you have a lot more followers too on your eBay store, so a newsletter would probably be extremely beneficial.
I have over 10,000 followers on my eBay store, so a newsletter might be a good blast. And she said like attach a coupon to it, so that'll like get some people in the shopping mood. Lala sent $4.99. Who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody and they said I had to break these guys in with Kevin. So Lala, I'm sorry if you don't want Kevin, but I'm going to give you Kevin. So thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. Here is Kevin.
I can see Fisher's face. He's like, "What the hell did I just sign up for?
What just happened?
What just happened?"
It's one of the most...
I was waiting for my face to pop up there.
Oh,
cover your eyes. I do see all the tattoo messages, guys. I do see it, and I will show you. I promise I will show you. I do see you guys.
They might get the whole gambit if they ask that question. The whole show.
We're all at the show and tell if that's the case.
Yeah.
Well, they've been waiting because I've been talking about it. So they've been waiting to see. And like, this is the first week that I've had it. So I have to show it. They'll see it. I haven't done any thrifting videos since I got it though. So those won't be till next week, but then you'll really see it.
God, that's important to read that one.
Okay. Susan says, I work in marketing and communications with a specialty in internet as my full-time job. Email newsletters are the #1 drivers of sales across the board for all my clients.
Wow.
So maybe I'll do that tomorrow.
And if you guys click on if you have an eBay store, if you actually click on your store, underneath your name there, it actually shows you how many people are following your store. If you guys don't know that. So that's what we're referring to. You can actually create a newsletter on eBay that will go to all your followers on your store.
All right. Kelly says, I have second of 2 vintage figurines, artist sign carved from whalebone. The first sold on eBay, but the second was flagged for policy violation. Where can I sell it?
So obviously, do not try to relist it on eBay. Don't do that. Secondly, you list it on the Wild Wild West, which is Craigslist. I allegedly sell all of my RX items, all my Berg, what are those blue cube ice things that you can't sell on eBay for like a shoulder injury or a knee injury? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the medical. They're the medical.
Are you talking about the cooler thing?
Yes.
Yes.
I tried that too, man, and I used to look for them.
I have 4 of them, and I tried to list them on eBay, and they got pulled right away. So I got rid of all of them on Craigslist. They don't seem to care. Like I said, Wild Wild West, that'd be my #1 place to go with, what is it, whalebone? So it's not ivory, right? Is that different?
It's not. I don't think whalebone's ivory.
I don't either. I don't. What do they call it? What's the fancy word? Scrimshaw? Isn't that what they call it? Is that a whale's tooth? Anyway,
Scrimshaw,
Craigslist.
I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell us.
What about like Marketplace? Will Marketplace flag that?
Marketplace would definitely flag that.
It would. Yeah.
I got kicked off Marketplace multiple. I'm permanently banned from Marketplace. I'm not allowed there.
Yeah. Any ideas, Rod? What are your thoughts?
So, yeah, I would say Craigslist. I'm looking online right now if I can sell whalebone. It says any marine mammal bones, teeth, or ivory that you collect must be identified and registered with the nearest NOAA fishery regional office. So that's why you can't sell it. So I would stay away from Facebook Marketplace because they will flag you. The only thing
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
we may not sell bone. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Here. Scrimshaw whalebone. Yes, I wouldn't sell anything bone online. So they're telling you to get an antique booth.
Yeah, pretty much. So I would say you might want to you can try to sell it on Craigslist, like Dennis just said, or offer up, I would say. Those probably be the two options I would say you could potentially try to sell. I'm not telling you to go sell something illegally, but if you're trying to do that. And also, I would look on Facebook for different market groups that may do stuff with bone or those things, but you can't. Like, for example, I'm in some craft beer and bourbon groups where you can't sell beer or bourbon on there, but there are ways to sell and buy bourbon and beer on there. So you just got to there's creative ways to do it. That's all I'm going to say at that. You just got to find the right group to do it. But at this point, I mean, if you're worried about it, you may just cut your loss and move on too. So.
Yep. Yeah, that's good to know. We did that one. Oh, wait, we have a super chat. Let me grab a super chat real quick. Amber sent a $9 super chat and said, thanks for the great answers. You are very welcome. Thank you to all of you for hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us every Tuesday. Let's do the whale that I absolutely love.
Whale for the whalebone.
Right. Whale for the whalebone. I didn't even think about that. That's perfect.
Nicely played, Kat. Nicely played.
I did not do that on purpose. All right. I'm just naturally gifted like that. Marnie said, brand new to selling. Can you tell me if I offer free shipping and purchase shipping via eBay, does eBay take that cost off the top before processing their fees?
If you offer free shipping and purchase the label through eBay, do they take the cost off the top? The cost of the shipping? I'm not sure. Can you explain this question?
I think she's asking if, like, before you get your payment, which the answer would be, like, they put that payment in and then they're going to take out their fees first, and then they would take out what you paid for shipping. Whether the buyer paid for shipping or you put free shipping, it doesn't matter. Shipping comes out, like, they put that into your funds, and then they're going to take it out of your funds. If you choose that, Rod does his shipping on a credit card.
Yeah. Yep. I still want to try that, but I don't know if I'm disciplined enough. You know? And the credit card thing. So you're going to get fees taken out for shipping the item, tax when they get charged tax, all that comes out, and they call that the final value fee. It wasn't always like that. That's why you saw people selling things for, whatever it was, $1 with $150
shipping.
Yeah. So that was eBay's answer for that. They're going to do a final value fee, and they take those three things into consideration, pull all that money out, and then you get the remainder.
Yeah. So they're charging that final value fee, whether it's free shipping or not. So you sell something for $20 free shipping or $20 plus $6.99 shipping, they're still taking that final value fee off the total amount.
Yeah. So picture eBay. The best way to describe it, eBay gives you a checking account. So when someone buys something from you, that money, the eBay takes their fees for that money and then puts the remaining amount in that checking account. From that checking account, you have to purchase your label on top of it then. So even if you offer free shipping or if you charge shipping, eBay will put the shipping money in there if you charge for shipping in your checking account. Then you just take that money out of there to buy it then on eBay. But and to answer Dennis's question, here's the best way to do it. If you do payouts once a week on eBay, is that how you do your payouts? So I hooked up. I don't use managed payments on eBay to pay for my shipping labels. I use my PayPal account, which has my Amex credit card hooked up to it. And every time I buy a shipping label on eBay, it bills PayPal, so I get all the bonus points. So I build up all my points. Today I booked my wife. She's going to Sephora up in Atlanta for makeup thing for her birthday. early birthday present. I booked her 2 hotel rooms for free with my points off eBay. She's taking the kid to Disney on Friday. I booked her a free hotel room with my points from my account. So the best way to do it is you get paid out once a week. When that money hits your account on Tuesday from eBay, you literally make a payment to your credit card that same day. So instead of making a payment once a month, you make a payment every week on your credit card. That way you never get yourself in trouble.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great advice. All right. Any advice on selling new in box and used perfumes on eBay? I seem to get different or limited condition options when listing.
I don't go and sell a lot of perfumes. When I do, they're brand new. I will pass over used ones. I think they get flagged unless it's the bottle, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm going to pass that along. I don't sell used perfume on eBay.
Yeah, I don't either. I sell clothing, so I don't even look at anything perfume or cologne or anything like that.
Well, it's good you guys don't sell used perfume on eBay because it's actually against the policy to sell used perfume. So the way you have the way to work around is when I used to sell perfume. Now this does get flagged sometimes, and here's a trick to it: do not list in the perfume category. Okay, what you do is you list it on eBay. You just don't list in the perfume category, and you list it as brand new because the perfume is brand new in the container. But you list it at 3/4 full, 50% full, 80% full, based on how full the bottle is. But you have to list it as new, and you can still do it on eBay and sell it. So that's how I did it for 20 years, selling used perfume and stuff like that on eBay. I've never had a problem. I've never gotten flagged for it. I know other sellers have. Currently, I don't have anything in my store, so I don't have to worry about go to my store and reporting my items on that. But I would say that is the one around it.
Yeah, Rod covered it. I don't pick up any used perfumes anymore. I used to. I have picked up ones that are like tiny bit used, and I'll still list them as new. I'm not gonna lie. They might have a tiny bit out, but if they're half used, like I'm not gonna pick them up. If I can kind of pass them as being new, I will. Dalton, good night. Thank you, Rod, for catching that. I love you, buddy. He's giving sister hell in there tonight. He's being sneaky. He messaged me and asked me, could he have a Snapple? And I told him yes. And then Brooke messages me, Mom, that has a lot of sugar. Thanks a lot. So he's being a little sneaky and son of a gun and not wanting to go to bed. Go to bed. I love you. I'll be in there when I'm done. Okay. Thank you for catching that. I didn't see it. Northwoods Flipper says, how long do you try a platform before you decide it's not worth your time?
It's not going to be long. Let's say, what was the last one? I tried Amazon. I am like I said, 99% eBay. And then that final 1% is like Poshmark, Marketplace, and Mercari. But Amazon, for some reason, I just, 1, didn't like it. 2, was gated in like everything. And then I realized maybe a week, 10 days tops. This is just not for me. It's going to take away from my business, which is primarily eBay. And I just wasn't willing to learn and wait and get ungated in all these other categories when I can readily sell almost everything I want to on eBay. So for me, it was 10 days on Amazon. And I said, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, so I hear a lot, like especially like on TikTok, that people try Poshmark and they get frustrated on Poshmark because they don't want to do the sharing and they don't want to do all the social media aspects of Poshmark. And then I'm like, and I've told Dennis the same thing: get a bot, get Posture VA. It runs it for you. And once people get the Posture VA, they're like, oh yeah, it's working. So instead of giving up, like try different things to make that platform work. But I've tried Depop. So I've been doing Depop for 6 months and nothing sells. I'm listing. So I gave up on Depop. But yeah, I think just, if something's not working, try what you can. Try the bot for Poshmark, which took off my business and as well Dennis's.
So I would say for me, I think Fisher, you're making a great point there. It's, one is the barrier of entry into these new platforms. If you want to sell, how much time are you actually investing in this based on what are you getting out of it? And you guys have to remember, just like when you guys had your eBay store, when you put up 5, 10, 15, 20 items, you're probably not going to get a lot of sales. It wasn't until you probably hit 250 to 500 items where you're getting those daily sales consistently. Same thing with these other platforms. You know, you have to remember eBay has a user base of like, I want to say like 134, 138 million users on there. These other platforms are a cents on the dollar compared to eBay. You know, they're very small. It's only going to be a fraction of that audience. A lot of these other platforms are going to be niched down. You know, like Poshmark is going to be, even though you sell everything on Poshmark, it's going to be majority clothing. You know, so it just depends on that. So for me, I've sold on eBay, I've sold on Mercari, I've sold on Amazon, I sold on whatnot, I've sold on Poshmark, I sold on all these platforms. I've gotten rid of Poshmark and I've gotten rid of Mercari in the past because I was manually listing everything on there. It wasn't worth my time for the amount of stuff I put into it. It wasn't until I started using Vendoo and I started to cross list all my items within seconds. Now, the amount of time I'm taking to do the same amount of work compared to what it was before, it's only a fraction of the time. And so my investment of my time is very few and far between. So now it's worth my time to do that. So I really think it's a cost. You have your cost basis, you know, what you're doing on there. Is it worth your time? I wouldn't sell these other platforms if I wasn't using software to do it, because now it just simplifies the process for me.
Yeah, so I have been listing back on Etsy, and oh crap, I forgot I had a sale. Kat was fired on Marketplace, and Gina said Depop fired her. Depop fired me too. So Kat was fired on Marketplace, and Kat was fired on.
Where haven't you been fired from? Good Lord,
I've been fired from everywhere. That's why I work for myself. Like I can't keep a job anywhere else, apparently. So now you made me forget the question. Oh. Stop doing that.
You've been fired from Depop. That's where we left off.
I've been fired from Depop. I've been fired from Marketplace. I've been fired from Facebook.
You've been fired from eBay.
Fired from Mercari, but they let me back. I have been fired from eBay in the past.
I've been fired from eBay too.
If you get fired, try again. That's my advice. So I've been listing on Etsy and Citizen. I have gotten a few Etsy sales, so I think I'll probably put a little more effort into that. I just had a $40 purse sale. I noticed it. Oh, I noticed it earlier today, so it's okay. We're going to ship it tomorrow. But I haven't had one sale on Citizen. So Citizen, I probably will not. And I mean, I don't do a ton. Like, I don't really do any kids' clothes, but I don't do a ton of like women's and women's accessories, which is the other thing that's on Citizen. Poshmark, I agree. You need a bot. List Perfectly will do sharing. I also use One Shop to send automatic offers and refresh my listings. And I will tell you guys, we did over $1,000 on Poshmark last week, and that surprised me. And I actually have a video coming out tomorrow of all the Poshmark sales because it was just so incredible in a week. And normally we do that in a month on Posh. So that was like, I sold a $500 quilt. We had some amazing sales on Poshmark. So I would say I would probably give it like 60 days, honestly, if it was me. Like Etsy, I slowed down, but now we're getting the sales, so I'll probably get back into it. But yeah. All right, here's the question. I waited till it every time I see I take a shot every time I see Kevin's butt. Get me drunk, Kat. If I had a dime for no, I'm just kidding. All right. You ask, you shall receive. Here's Kevin's butt. Look, everybody's taking shots. I don't have my shot. I just have water. It's water.
I don't know how much more of that I can take.
Marnie sent a $5 super chat. Should we get him even more drunk?
No, I think we've had enough.
Take another shot. If you want to get him drunk, send one. Okay, let's do. What are we gonna do? Let's do this one. Here you go. Did I forget Scott's super chat? Hold on.
Yep.
So I'm going to use this as a teaching moment and thank Scott for his $10. Scott said a $10 super chat and said, hit the thumbs up if you'd rather watch this than the debate. Never on my channel do we talk about politics or religion. Scott's okay. He's not saying anything about it. That's fine. But that is a big no-no. So I'm going to use it as a teaching. Like, this is not the place. I don't care what your politics are, and I don't care about your religion. You do you, I'll do me. This is not the place. So that's just a gentle reminder. I haven't seen anything in the chat. Everybody has behaved. I think I even have it where when you first sign up that it says that you have to agree to that. So we can all be friends here regardless of our political and religious views. And Scott, just for that, and because I want to get him more drunk, I'm giving him Kevin's butt.
Oh.
Very good, Dennis.
When I used to bartend, I said the same rule: no religion or no politics, because everyone thinks they're right, and you add alcohol to it, it's a recipe for disaster. So,
yep.
Philbert sent a $4 super sticker. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to do it. I promise. All right.
Cat's blind now. Way to go, Cat.
Sorry, guys. All right. Here's Dalton on the beach. This is cute. This will make it better. Look, now that I know, I almost clicked it at the same time as you. Squirrely Reseller said, thank you for all your expertise. Get them all drunk. Let's see both Kevin and Rod. All right. Oh, my gosh. I don't have a drink. I mean, I guess that could be a new thing. It'd be a different kind of show every Tuesday.
Cat after dark.
All right, Dennis, I'm going to have to grab another one, too. I was drinking water because my stomach's been hurting all night.
Well, now your eyes are hurting after seeing Kevin, so you may need a drink.
I mean,
okay. I'm going to do Rod first to give you like a little reprieve, and then I'll do Kevin.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
Poor Red Cardinal Treasure goes, I need a raise.
I'll give you 3 times what you get now.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I did say I was going to have a drink. Okay. No drinking with tattoo at Thinsible. I'm drinking water. That would mean I can't drink for a long time. Anyways, I was trying to show you my tattoo because that was the next one. And then everybody just keeps sending me money and I haven't shown you my tattoo. So Gina's asking how I'm feeling. I'm feeling fine. So I will show you guys. So here is my turtle. He's kind of upside down. I can't there. There's another turtle there. This is what hurts in the bend of the arm. There are manta rays swimming up my arm and there's a hammerhead or 2 on my arm. So that's just the beginning. I have about 25 more hours or more. And I go back the 27th. Okay, here's everybody show your tattoos. We did this before the show started. Here's everybody's tattoos. It's show and tell time. There's all the tattoos.
There's that one. And then that one goes all the way there. And then all the way
when you get inside there, that's really when it hurts.
Right
tender.
And your elbow.
That one goes all the way across my chest.
Hey, this is a PG show. Don't show your.
I have one here, but I'm not going to show you. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it. Goes all the way across.
Wow. Where are the super
Patty's
chats?
asking about I used to, like, you guys won't know this. I used to have a lot of piercings. I had my tongue, my eyebrow, and my labret. If you look close in my videos, you can still see the hole there. So I used to have, Teresa said on that note, peace out. All right. Charmaine wants to know if any of us have seen the Ground Advantage boxes like seen on TV. Most post offices are clueless.
Never seen them.
Nope.
So I saw, I don't know, it was a YouTube short or like a TikTok on them. I don't know if it was a beta program or something, but I did see one of the boxes But they have not rolled any out. They're not on the website. They're not available to. I was just on the website buying or getting free boxes of me. So so I think it was a beta program they were thinking about doing. I don't know if they're going to do it or not though.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's real. Like, I'm wondering where, if you're still here, Charmaine, tell us where on TV you saw it. Like, I'm wondering if you saw it on like TV like YouTube or like TV like TV.
I've heard the commercials. They're all over, but I've never.
You've seen them?
No, I've heard the commercials on the radio, but I've never seen the boxes.
Yeah, I've never seen the boxes. So if anybody knows about those boxes, tell us. Miss Valerie says, listing fatigue. Been going hard for months and have recently hit a wall. We're all in this for the money, but do you have advice to avoid burnout and motivation other than money?
It's my biggest motivation, and I've said this a few times on our podcast, that most people have a dangling carrot, right, that they're chasing. For me, it's the boogeyman, which is my old job. I was a police officer, and I got out, and I'm doing this full time. That's what drives me, is this fear of going back to this other job. So why I jump out of bed every single morning, why I stay up late at night, why I consistently list every single day, even on vacation. It's probably not healthy, but for you, if you're having burnout, that is a pure example. Take a break. eBay is not going anywhere. Okay. Reselling is not going anywhere. Buyers aren't going anywhere. You absolutely deserve a break. Put your thing on vacation mode, away mode, and just go. Take a walk on the beach, for a hike, go up in do something strenuous, a little bit of exercise maybe, start a different hobby, read that book that you've put aside for months, watch that movie, start that binge watch something, just something else other than reselling and the metrics and the eBay and the algorithm and all that stuff. It can totally overtake your life, and it's not healthy. You're not going to do well, if it's work now and you're struggling to list and struggling to source, you're going to hate it even more. It's your body and your mind telling you, I need a break, and it's okay. It's absolutely okay. And I would suggest you do that.
Yeah. So like Dennis said, we discussed this on our Pence and Profits podcast on YouTube. That was a whole segment about what do you do when you get burnt out? Take a walk on the beach, step away for an hour. You can even take a day off for listing. Like I'm a firm believer, you don't have to list every single day. So if you get completely burnt out, take a day off, relax, refocus, and then get back to it.
So when it comes to productivity and stuff, I'm very analytical. I try to everything I can possibly do to get an advantage of stuff. But there's a lot of studies that say that if you work for an hour, you should take a 15-minute break and then go back to work for an hour, take a 15-minute break, because it helps refresh your mind and your body and lets you get stuff done. But when you get burned out, simple tasks will take you double or triple amount of time to do things. So everyone here is saying it's okay to take a break, because when you come back refreshed, you work faster, quicker, and more efficient. But you have to find things that are going to motivate you. For me, Dennis talked about the dangling carrot. I think everyone should have goals set in place. A lot of times I know a lot of people think it's stupid, but create a board, motivation board, where take pictures of stuff that you want to achieve, stuff that you want to do, create short-term and long-term goals, stuff that you're working to, because when you have something to work to, when you have hope, it gives you motivation to do things. I'm the same way as Dennis. I'm always looking in the rearview mirror. I do not want to go back to a corporate job. I do not want to go back to that, because the most amazing thing for me, and if you guys ever watch any of my videos on YouTube, especially my flipping punching channel, you see me, I show my pets every single day in there. I love my dogs. They're a big part of my life. And the fact that I can sit at home with my rescue dogs and work, and they drive me crazy, but it's part of my life. I love every minute of it. I would not trade that for the world, to be honest with you. That makes me genuinely happy person, because it's a natural, happy high to be with my dogs every single day. My cats, my dogs, and just me and the cats and the dogs at the house. And I love every minute of it. You know, so that's motivation for me. If I didn't have that, if I had to go back to work a regular job, I know my pets would probably have separation anxiety. I know they'll be depressed. That would make me upset, make me depressed. So that's motivation by itself. So you just got to find things like this. I would say too, getting listing fatigue is change your environment. I can't say this enough. Go work at a coffee shop. Go work at other things, because if I know I have to go to a coffee shop, I know I can't. If I'm sitting at home, I will find everything else to do my laundry, dishes, clean floors, do stuff if I don't want to work. If I go to a coffee shop, I know I'm there to work. So I will give myself an hour or two there. I have to get as much stuff done there and then head back. So I find myself to be more efficient that way.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, of course, money's going to be, and money's not even my main motivation. I want to be home with my son. So my son is my main motivation. I don't want to go back to working for somebody else. We already have established I get fired by everybody. So I need to work for myself.
She also added this though too to that her thing.
Yeah, and that's hard when you lose a pet. Like it's really, really hard. And I agree, like with Dennis, like, and I might not necessarily like shut down shop, but like I told you guys, like yesterday, I just took off and we went driving down the dirt road like for hours. We have like nature preserves here in Florida, and it's like we just drive and look for gators and deer and whatever. And I was jamming. Dalton had his headphones jamming. We were both like, he's jamming his music, I'm jamming to mine, and we're driving down the road. And I think, I'm very country, if you guys do not know that. And you know, like, take a break. Like I might even, and I haven't done this in a while, I probably should, but it's hard because I'm sick. So it's hard to know, like, am I sick or am I burned out? Does that make sense? You know, because you're like, well, I'm sick and I'm not doing anything, or it could be a little bit of both. Like I love going down south, like Sanibel Island, looking for shells. It's a different kind of treasure hunting. Clearwater Beach for sand dollars. So for me, the ocean is definitely like the hence. Hi Mark. OG and Z in the house sending $5 super. He's never seen me in a tank with a tat. I think you have seen me in a tank with a tat, because I have my other one, and I think I've worn a tank top when we've hung out before. So I think that's a lie. You just paid me for a lie. Anyways. What do we, we give Mark Rod. So take a break. I can't take too much of a break because I need that money, you know, but you could take a day trip. You know, a day's not going to kill anything. 2 days not going to kill anything. I wouldn't put my store on vacation mode, because that's my only income, and I am the only income. But I would take off to South Florida for a day or two and say peace out and go do it. All right, here is Rod for Mark. We're not going to get people more drunk just yet. Here you go.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
That makes me want to get a tattoo there.
Kat, have you gone down to Fort DeSoto?
I have not. Is that on the East Coast?
No.
It's on the West Coast too?
Gulf Coast.
Because I'm on the Gulf. I'm on the Gulf side.
Yeah, my in-laws are from St. Petersburg, so they always take me to like these crazy places, but it's cool. Like that's, if I was from Florida and I was getting burnt out, I would go there for a day or two and be just, you're healed.
I do not have vodka. I will sit back so you can see I'm clothed.
That works too. I mean, whatever.
Okay. No, you guys would know, because I'm like a giggle ball. I would get louder. If I was drinking. I think Rod could probably attest to that. Rod's seen me drinking.
Yeah, I've seen Kat have a couple.
I get louder. Some blue moons in Phoenix. Yeah. Sandy says, if you purchased an item and have done a lot of research and can still not find anything about the item, how can you find the value?
So I would say more research. I would join a Facebook group that there's a group on Facebook for almost everything. Join one of those I'm in like pottery ones, like stoneware, like just ridiculous ones. That's probably the first thing I would do if you've already checked like Worth Point and eBay sold listings, stuff like that. Search for a group. There will be an expert there that loves to show off and will know exactly what you have and exactly the value of it. So that'd be my first thing to do.
Mine would be Instagram. So with being a clothing seller, obviously my little niche is clothing. There's been times I'll post a photo and say, "Hey, need help. What is this? What's the value?" And people will come back and say, "Oh yeah, I know exactly what that is." So that works for me.
Yeah, so I use Tier Peak, I'll use eBay listings, I'll use WorthPoint. If I still can't find the item, at that point I'll look for a similar item, and what I'll do is I'll list the item super high with the crazy buy it now price with best offer. I'll let the market dictate the price, and if I get no bites over next month or so, I'll drop the price, and I'll just continue to do it until I start getting some action on it. So my thought process is I'd rather start high than list something under list something and have it sell within the first 5 minutes, because it's great when items do sell super fast, but nothing's worse when you list an item and it sells within the first 10 minutes. You're like, what did I do? What a mistake, did I do? Like, I have a one-of-a-kind shirt I listed on eBay today, and you cannot find it. I reached out to the vintage t-shirt experts out there. No one has ever seen the shirt. It's from 1984. It's a wrestling shirt with Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes from the Orange Bowl. And I listed on eBay today for $2,000 because, and within the first 5 minutes of being up, someone sent me an offer for $900 on the shirt. So
nice.
I'm not taking the offer because I just don't know. It's just up there. So you just never know. So like something like that, I just threw a ridiculous price on it. No, I never thought I'd even get $900 for it. You just never know, so.
Yeah. So the value of something is what somebody else is willing to pay. That's kind of the bottom line. So for me, if I can't find anything, I look for something similar. I'm going to price high. And if you end up finding out later it's worth more, and we say this a lot, like, you don't have to be the end user. If somebody else had more knowledge on that item than you do, but you still made a good profit, it's okay. Like, it's okay that you're not the end user. So for me, I'm going to price it something similar and where I would be happy with it. If I pay $5, I get 50, then I'm going to be happy. If you think the value is there and you think the demand is there, it's like a popular category or maker or something like that, then you could always run an auction, start it at the lowest you're willing to take and let it go. And if you get one bid, be happy. Maybe you started that 50 that you were going to price it at, but maybe it goes to 5,000, So yeah, I see you, Rod.
I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share my screen for 1 second.
Let me hide this.
You can share screen. And let's see here. Select my tab. Let's see here. It is. There it is.
Sandy said she's always wondered every week what people have in their drinking cups.
Oh, so right there. So that's what they were talking about earlier. This is a mock-up of what they were supposed to look like. But that's the thing that was going around the internet last year. That's what the ground advantage boxes were going to look like. So
Scott said, and I agree, I think those were created just for marketing. I don't think those are something that's there.
Yeah, but that's what a lot of people were seeing going around. That's the picture.
So they thought they would get them free, like priority boxes. But Scott was saying, and I agree, that if they ever do make those, they're going to be where you buy them. They're not going to be for free because that's a lower cost service.
I agree.
That would be amazing if they were giving those away.
Oh, that would be beautiful. Oh. We wouldn't have to buy any boxes. That'd be like they had given us ones for first class, Yep. But that's not going to happen.
What's Sandy Stout saying over there? I love the last name, by the way.
What? She said I put it up there. She said she always wondered what guests have in their cups. Thank you, Dennis, for being transparent.
We don't have cups. We just have the can.
Right. No.
It is what it is. We don't have a no drinking rule here. It might be more interesting. I don't mind. I mean, it's, whatever.
But I mean, that's their podcast. Their podcast is beer
drink,
in reselling. That's what they do in their podcast.
You might get some interesting advice from me if I do that.
Hold it up, Dennis.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's it.
Pints and profits.
Drink them up.
Okay. Scott is asking everybody, he wants to know who knows him. What do you think
Ooh.
his drink of choice is?
Whiskey.
Vodka.
I don't think Scott drinks.
Coca-Cola.
Oh,
I think
can we
it's
redo it
non-alcoholic.
then? Ginger ale. Ginger ale.
Diet Pepsi.
Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
Ginger ale, Diet Pepsi.
All right, Scott, what is it? Let us know.
Scott, let us know.
It's not Sex on the Beach.
No, this is Guinness.
I might be wrong, but I think I might be right.
Ovaltine.
That's great.
More Ovaltine, please. Hyacinth wants to know, how would you get artwork appraised?
Hyacinth, this is the one area that I would love to be knowledgeable in. I pass over so much art. I know nothing about it, but I want to, but I'm very intimidated with it. And just, I don't know. I have no idea. I want to know this category so badly, but I just don't have the time or interest other than money than to get into it. I can appreciate art. I just don't know it. It's like a foreign language to me. It takes effort and time and patience. So I don't know.
You know who knows the answer? Rod.
Actually, I don't. That I'm just like Dennis. For me, you can. I wouldn't know the difference between a $100,000 painting and someone who finger painted something. To be honest with you, so,
Kat does not know everything about art.
So I would actually go to, if I had an art piece, I would literally go to an art store and try. That would be the first place I would start, or I'd reach out to antique dealers or reach out to other people that I know. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'd post in different Facebook groups. I would do everything I could to possibly learn. But I'm just like Dennis. That's one category where I do come across paintings and I have no idea what they're worth at all.
Yeah, I agree with like an art store. You could also like call a museum or something like that. I know George the Antique Nomad does some. But yeah, or even a high dollar auction house. Like some of the auction houses I buy from, I bet would be able to appraise because they would tell you approximately what they think it would bring, which would give you an idea. Now, if you don't know it's worth money, you might be wasting money on appraisals too. I'd be very careful of that as well.
Well, Kat, you made a good point. So when I actually got some any Warhols and stuff like that, I actually sent those to the different auction houses. And what the auction houses will do is they will say, hey, we will accept this, we won't accept this, but they will provide you information. They'll say, hey, this thing's worth XYZ. Unfortunately, we only take items that are signed. We don't take prints, or we don't do this. So they'll at least be able to provide you information, or even provide you a route to go or what to look for. So they are super, super friendly. All you have to do is go on their website, fill it out. Like I did it for Heritage Auction House. I've done it for Sotheby's. I've done it for Golden Auction House. They will provide you a bunch of information. And that goes for any high-end collectible you have that you want more information with. Just send them pictures of it in an email, and they'll provide you information, and they'll let you know if it's something they accept at their auction house, and they will give you an estimate what they think it will go for.
Yeah, and I did that with a violin one time. I basically knew it wasn't top dollar because they're like, this doesn't meet our criteria. Almost the same thing. It was like a musical instrument auction, and I sent them a bunch of pictures, and they said it didn't meet the criteria for being listed on their auction. I don't know the answer to this question. I don't know if any of the guests might. How many days does it take to get on Google? They're asking, like, once you've made your listing, and is it the same on all platforms? How do you think Google search affects fourth quarter sales?
I don't have a clue. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Now, I know, maybe I'm wrong. Didn't eBay have a contract with Google that expired? And then eBay wants us to do the off-site ads to promote on Google. Is that right?
I don't know if they.
I heard something like that.
But they do have the off-site ads on there.
Which I think if you pay for the off-site ads, those go to Google directly. I heard something like that, but I'm not exactly sure.
So
I think with Etsy too, they have a Google Direct type of thing.
Yeah. So when it comes to anything with Google, it's going to be SEO search. So you're actually paying. you're paying to have that your item be optimized in the search. So that's just like having a website. That's just like anything else. So to get on Google fast, if you pay, you'll get on Google real fast. So you can pay for offsite ads on eBay to get your items up there. If you're just naturally hoping the item gets up there, it depends on how rare the item is. If you have a one-off item, it'll probably come up if you search for that item, and the images on there. But it just depends. I mean, there's times I search for items all the time. It pulls up eBay listings, but they might be the ones that are paying to the offsite ads, like Fisher was talking about.
Yeah,
because I use Google Lens a lot, and to get images, and it pulls up stuff from WorthPoint, pulls up stuff.
It never pulls up anything from eBay. It's always something else.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know. And I mean, I know some of them are better. Like Etsy seems like it's a little better at like getting listings onto Google. I've never really searched Google for items, like my items for sale, to see if it's there. I have like searched for my listed, like we found a second item, the same thing, and the result that comes up is my listing. So I know they do come up, but I've never like intentionally tried to figure that out. All right. Russell said, I live on the East Coast. When shipping 30 to 70 pound items, UPS is cheaper for the East Coast. Is there a way to let buyers on the West Coast know that USPS is cheaper? I don't know. That doesn't.
USPS would be cheaper? Wow, not in my experience.
I think he means maybe he meant UPS. Russell, if you're still there, maybe you can clarify for us.
I usually add those two options on my listing. That's how I handle that. I always try to do the two cheapest options for the buyer. But in my experience, for me living on the East Coast, shipping a 30 to 70 pound item, USPS is not going to be cheaper. I would try the other two platforms, FedEx or UPS.
Yeah, I don't ever ship anything that heavy. But yeah, the UPS is definitely going to be cheaper than the post office.
So in your eBay listing, you can actually put multiple different shipping options on there. So you can actually put UPS, you can put FedEx, you could put the postal service. So the buyer can actually click the drop down and see which shipping option they actually want. So that's a good way to do it. Now, I will tell you, from my experience doing that, a lot of buyers, there's going to be some user error to that, because whatever the first option that you offer is usually going to be the option they take. Now, what normally happens for me in the past is, even though, let's just say UPS is cheaper, but my first option is, the postal service, and that buyer from like the, across the country is going to pick the postal service. Well, then I can actually change it on my side, and I can issue them a partial refund back if I want to on the back side, or you can just keep the extra link yourself if the buyer doesn't reach out to you or anything. So there are options there for the buyer, but I said in eBay's platform, they don't make it very user friendly when it shows those different drop down options, I would say.
Yep.
Yeah, and I like, if they message me, I can like add them, but like add the service. But what sucks is if you have an offer out, you can't add a service. So they would have to like contact me before, but I'll tell them, like, if I can find like UPS or FedEx cheaper, I will. That's where, if you're talking that $40 difference and the buyer said it's okay, I will refund them. But I do tell them they have to pay that up front, and then I'll refund whatever I can. But there's no way to like let them know, like on your page when they go to view an item, though. They would have to be interested enough to message you and to have that kind of conversation back and forth about it. All right. Ari says, do you sell furniture, or have you sold furniture like side tables? If you do, how do you ship them?
I don't. Anything that I can't ship, I couldn't say can't ship, I would rather not ship, goes right to marketplace. That's just where I sell big, giant, bulky items. I do a lot of snowboards, high-end skis, that type of stuff. I just don't want to take the time to get a box, build a box, and ship it. It goes right to marketplace. I think that's kind of why I use that platform. Everything else goes to eBay. I don't know. I mean, if you got a high-end heirloom type armoire that you want to sell on eBay, you better have a professional prepare that, pack that, build some type of sturdy structure to ship that. Because now you're talking, some serious money. So not that I'm afraid of it. I just don't have the time for it. I would rather do my little niche with video games and media and, that type of stuff where it's easy to ship. And I don't really enjoy furniture. So I kind of shy away from it.
Yeah, I agree. I obviously I do clothing, but if you're going to sell a big coffee table, maybe shipping it freight. But yeah, get it professionally packaged. Just something I don't want to deal with.
Time is money. So just like these two, I have no desire to ship big pieces of furniture. Now, Kat's over there laughing because Kat used to sell furniture. So Kat's going to tell you a completely different. She's going to tell you a completely different story than what us three are telling you. But that's just my choice for my business model and for what I want to do. I don't want to ship that stuff. Not that now I would ship something if I can make like $1,000 or $500 or $1,000 off it. Maybe that would be worth it for my time to do it. But at the end of the day, I don't want to pick those things up because I don't want to store them. I don't want to move them. I don't want the hassle of going through the whole process on there. So I actually did a podcast for a company called Ivy Flips. And what they do is the whole platform is based on people that flip couches. And it's insane. But people go out and because a lot of people get couches for free or like $50, $100, and they flip them. And these guys are going out getting 10, 20 couches a week. And they're flipping and they're making $5, $10 a week flipping couches. But it's a lot of work. So, but that's what they specialize in,
All right. So side tables are super easy and they're super good money because you can get, like we just sold a 17-inch side table for $150 last week. We literally just put bubble wrap under it, on top of it, on the side, and put it in a box, 24 by 24 by 24. Super easy. Even stacking tables. I watch for the side tables. I have several side tables listed. Those are really easy. But I also sell furniture. Like we have a wicker patio set listed right now. And same thing, it's easier than packaging a hat. They come and pick it up. I do nothing. So I set up the U-ship freight. They come, they take it out of the house, they put it on the truck, they blanket wrap it, and they drop it to the door. You do absolutely nothing. So but I don't do that with side tables because those are small enough I can put them in a box, right? I even have done like the big like steamer trunk. Same thing. As long as you can find a box big enough, you can ship it. And those things don't break. So that's not like a fragile item. It's a trunk that was meant to be shipped anyways by itself. So like with the furniture, I tell them to message me for a quote on freight if they're not going to pick up locally. And you can go on U-ship, put your address, put their address, approximate size, and it'll give you a quote of like the average cost. So I'll tell them right in the middle. If it says 300 to 500, I'm going to tell them 400. And typically furniture is enough profit that if I have to pay that 500 to get it there, I'm okay losing that 100. Like my wicker set is a $2,000 set. So if I miss 1,000 and I only paid like $150 for it, I'm not buying a ton of furniture, but the cost of gas has went down. So freight is halfway reasonable again. I did stop for a while because gas was so ridiculous. Nobody was going to pay freight, but side tables all day long. Side tables are strong. Like think about it. I wouldn't buy like a glass side. Oh, look, I said that and I made myself a liar. Right there is Lane Furniture, mid-century modern. It's 16 inches. That's worth $700. It is a glass top, but we will box it. I just picked that up from an auction. Has sold history, $700. I paid less than $100. And that one needs to get listed tomorrow. Actually, that one's not listed yet. But the known brands is a big thing for me with furniture because I want to check sell-through rate. But I've picked up like the stacking tables are really popular, and like mid-century modern stuff will sell. And it's not hard. It seriously is not hard. So that's my completely opposite answer from everybody else.
Sadly, I know Lane, and I have sold the little tiny, what is that? Cedar
Oh,
box.
the little mini cedar chest. I have 3 listed right now. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the extent of it. Because one,
He said only mini furniture.
That's it. It's like what is that? Like 10 by 5 by 4, something like that. It's like a little chest, a little mini cedar chest with Lane. It's got the imprinting on that. That's it. I don't enjoy furniture. I don't look for furniture. I don't buy furniture. I don't store furniture. But that's just me. So can I go back to the chat here?
I'm going to give my disclaimer again and say, please do not put any political comments in my chat.
No, I was talking to Sarah Sells Smalls, and her
Tell me what you want.
Smalls.
Sarah sells Smalls.
I love Smalls.
100%. I love the
Cat
profit.
sells anything that will make cat money. Small, big, doesn't matter.
We had the flea market flippers on here, and they sold, I think, would they sell like 200 items last year total? But they sold like
they made like 70. Yeah, I think it was like 7. I feel like it was.
I think
maybe
just
it was 100.
I think maybe 95,000 or something like that. Wow. I selling like 200 items, but all they did was bought like exercise equipment, like pizza oven.
I do have a furniture video already, Patty. I have one on how to use UShip. If you guys want a tutorial, I have one on how to use UShip. There is one out there. All right. Speaking of Sarah Sells Smalls, she has a question. Do you use promotions on eBay? I've gotten a lot more traffic and sales since I added a 2.5% promotion to each listing.
Yeah, yes, 100%, because it's pay to play right now. If you're sitting, this is controversial. I get it. There's going to be 18 people that says, hell no, we don't do promotion. We're not giving them any more money. We're not doing it. You have to do it. If your items want to be seen, unless you got one of these rare things that no one else has, but I'm selling the normal stuff that 150 people have, and I want my item to stand out. Yes, I promote everything. Every single item in my store, I promote, and it's between the minimum, and I think I'll do up to 8.5% to 9%. That's it. It's just part of doing business. I don't want my items to sit for months and months like this, all this stuff here. I want it to go, bring it in, photograph, list, sell, and just keep that thing going. Yes, you are going to lose a little bit of money, but you're going to be making daily sales, multiple daily sales, week after week. And it's just, again, it's a part of doing business. They made more money promoting the eBay made more money from charging you promotions than they did actual taking the fees out of your item that you sold. So they're pushing it. I'm using it. I'm making money. And that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. So I'm in a heavily saturated market with clothing, right? So I promote, and I think this is my personal opinion. I think 2.5% for me is not enough. So I promote anywhere between 6 to 8% on all of my items. And it works. And I know a lot of people like that's too high. But on a side note, that's kind of like where sourcing comes in. Like if you're sourcing cheap, you can kind of promote a little bit higher, right? But if you're paying full retail price at a thrift store and you're spending $10 to $15, you're going to be more reluctant to promote that high. So yeah, I promote and I love it. But let me real quick before you go, Rod.
Yeah.
But what I'm never going to do, and you know, when you make your listing and it gives you that suggested rate, it could be anywhere between 10 to 30%. I'm never going to use that.
Yeah.
That's insane. For me, that's insane. So, but I hear people doing it.
So we say this time and time again in the show. Kat knows what I'm about to say. You make your money in the buy, not the sell.
Right.
And so if you're buying cheap, you should be able to buy cheap enough to add extra percentages on there to promote your item. Mm-hmm. And I'll keep it very simple for everyone out there. And this is for, I know so many people complain about, oh, eBay has high fees. eBay's fees are not high at all.
No.
I hate to say that. If you had your own website, you'd be paying 10 times that to get traffic, to come to your website, to get a fraction of the sales. Number one. Number two, if you own a brick and mortar store, are you sitting there and telling me that you wouldn't promote that store? You wouldn't spend money on advertising budget?
Yeah.
Because you're running a business. You want people to come to your store so you don't go out of business. This is a business that we run. Have that same mindset with your eBay shop and your online shop. You know, this is a business. This is what you're doing. You're trying to sell items. So why wouldn't you want to try to promote your items? Now, I know like people like Kamala Pickard doesn't promote his items. He doesn't pay for promotions on eBay because he has 100,000 followers on YouTube, and he's promoting and shilling his items on his Flipper channel, his Picker channel. So he doesn't have to promote. But at the end of the day, he's still promoting every single time he's putting on a video to promote his items. So any way you do it, if it's through social media, if you're paying to promote on eBay, you have to find a way to get more eyes on your products. And that's the only way you're going to get more sales. And I hate to say that, but you have to pay to play the game.
Yeah, so I promote everything in my store, whether it's rare and the only one of an item. I just promote everything. I promote at 10%. I don't promote at 10. I promote it trending, but I cap it at 10, which means most of it is promoted at 10. That's just the reality with promotions now. But if you look at like Poshmark fees, they're 20%, right? Like you're paying that. So it might be a little bit more. And just because you promote an item doesn't mean it's going to sell promoted. It can still sell organically. I will tell you probably 70% of my items do sell promoted. But for me, I'm willing to pay more if that's bringing me thousands and thousands of dollars more in sales. So you can be mad and huff and puff and say, I'm not giving them any more money. Well, I'm going to give them money and I'm going to get those sales and have more money in my pocket. You know, it's bottom line for me. And if it gets me more sales, I'll do it. That's the same thing with paying for like WorthPoint and different apps that make you make more money in your business. So you can either complain and say you don't want to spend the money, or you can spend the money, use these tools for your business and make more money in the long run. And for me, I'm willing, if it's going to save me time or make me more money, I will pay for it. You know, I am totally okay with that.
And I was going to say, at the end of the day, if you have a $100 item, even if you promote at 4%, you're only paying an extra $4 on the item. It's not a big deal at the end of the day. Like, that's why I just don't get it when people have stressed so much about that. But sorry, Fisher, what do you say?
No, I was going to say, and the people that usually like will complain that they have no sales, they're the same ones that say, well, I'm never going to promote. Well, you just have to. You have to promote.
It's cost of doing business.
Yeah.
Cost of doing. That's how you scale and that's how you grow. So the people out there that want to learn how to grow your business, you have to spend money to make money. I hate to say that, but you look at it from a business perspective. You know, any corporate office you walk into, they have a marketing department and they have $100,000 or $50,000 or $10,000 set aside for their marketing budget for the entire year.
Right.
Look at it as your marketing budget.
It's a tax, and it's a tax write-off at the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure. All of it's tax deductible.
Yeah.
Like,
and remember, you only pay if your item sells through the promoted. So the cat said, if someone organically finds it, even though you're promoting your item, you do not pay that promotion fee. It has to be clicked on from the actual promotion ad on eBay for them to actually charge you for it.
But that cookie stays in there for 30 days. So remember that too. All right. Wendy said, I have a brand new Seahawks drink tumbler that someone made with a wrap design. It's not licensed. Is that okay to sell, or would you only sell licensed NFL items?
I have sold tons of like NFL, MLB, NHL hats, and there's always that little thing that you can fill in that says licensed ? Yes, no. I don't think they would put that in there if it was not okay, but I think you'd have to describe the item as handmade or homemade. I don't know. I've never listed something that was unlicensed, so I don't know if it's okay, but I've seen stuff on there. That doesn't mean much.
Yeah, it's the same like with clothing. Like you see a lot of like jerseys that maybe aren't Nike or they're not NFL, sponsored. I think as long as you don't put the wrong title and the wrong licensing maybe name in there, you can't get in trouble. Maybe, I don't know. Like you said, it always has that little toggle.
So there's a difference of selling licensed and unlicensed items. There's a difference from using someone's trademark and someone's imaging without permission. And if someone is putting the Seahawks and the NFL logos on a drink cup without having written consent from the NFL or the Seahawks, that is actually illegal to do in the sell on that. So technically, no, you shouldn't be selling it. I mean, you can on there. I mean, I'm not sure. You could just sell it as a tumbler, as a Seahawks tumbler on there, not to put it in state as license or anything like that. I know a lot of people do that. Tons of people get away with it at the end of the day, but just keep in mind that there's a reason why when you watch an NFL football game, they say, this is licensed.
This broadcast cannot be replayed or blah, 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 blah.
There's a reason why these players are signing millions of dollars of contracts, and there's a reason why Nike and Reebok get exclusive deals with certain teams in certain sports because they want their licensed product to be out there. So just keep that in mind.
So devil's advocate, what is that toggle for then? Where it asks, "Is this licensed?" And then
you can sell jerseys that look like Red Sox jerseys that use the same colors that aren't Red Sox because they're not actually using the license. They're not using the actual logos on there. So it's a non-licensed jersey that would look just like it, but it's not it. So they do stuff like that. That's what I'm assuming it is. But I mean, technically, you have to. I can't sell, Jake Paul stuff without having a license or having a deal from Jake Paul. So it's the same thing with any other sports.
It's just ambiguous why they would even have that option. For me, it seems it's licensed and you can sell it, or it's not licensed and you can't sell it.
Well, I'll give you. It asks you. Like Nintendo, you can get a Nintendo cart that works on your Nintendo, but you can make a homebrew game. So you can make your own game. It'll be a Nintendo cart. So it's considered an unlicensed Nintendo game because it wasn't officially released by Nintendo. But you are legally allowed to sell it because it's a homebrew game that you made that's just an empty Nintendo cart. So that's considered unlicensed, but compared to being actual licensed and released from the actual Nintendo company. So there is a difference. There is a reason why that's on there for certain things. Now, when it comes down to certain categories and things, I don't know on that, but there are some things that you could sell that is still licensed or non-licensed, and there's a reason why they have that for that.
Yeah, I guess I'd stay away from it if it was me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably wouldn't pick something up if it was like one of the these this is not taking anybody's licensing, but if you get Disney is a lot. They will go after you. They will go after you.
Who's that? Who's a country singer that just busted that person? I think they were in St. Pete actually, or were they local? They on Amazon. They were selling tumblers for. Was it Morgan Wallen or someone?
I don't know. I don't think I saw it.
I don't know who it was, but they Luke Combs. There it is.
Luke Combs.
Yeah, and there was a big controversy. The lawyers got involved. They went after the person, and Luke Combs stepped in then and stuff like that. They were like a small seller, but there's a prime example about selling unlicensed product. Tumbler.
All right, I would not. Mike wants to know. Look, this is a simple question. How many items does everyone have listed?
1,308. I'm sorry, 1,307.
Did you just sell one in that second?
I had it pre-planned. I read the question.
I don't know my exact amount, but on my app it says 1,500 plus. So,
wait, Dennis, how many did you say you had?
With me?
No, Dennis.
Oh,
how many did you have?
1,307.
I have 1,308.
You planned.
All right, are you ready?
No, I swear to God, I even share my screen. My active listings is 1,308.
How do you know your exact number?
If you go to eBay,
you don't.
I just look on my app. It says 1,500 plus.
I write it down on a piece of paper and I put it under my pillow. And then when I get up in the morning, it's a list. That doesn't work for you?
No.
Am I the only one? Seriously.
It's like you used to sleep on your textbooks at school too, right? At night, and then you ready.
So it would just permeate.
Absorbs through. Yeah. Yes.
I have 7,690.
Damn.
I thought you're downsizing it, but yet the number stays the same.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Buying problem.
You know what's weird? So I just checked on eBay on the computer. It says 1,492, but on my app it says 1,500.
It's rounding.
Rounding.
It's what?
Columbus,
rounding up.
Rounding up.
Yeah.
Columbus didn't
LJ.
sell Ocean Blue.
LJ, I think you were here when I showed the tattoo. If you weren't, tell me. But LJ, I think you saw it. All right. Berkshire wants to know, you're not having double tattoo show and tell. I mean, we could. Oh my gosh. Are you going to make me do
said
it?
the word. You
Now
said
he
the
made
word.
me. Oh my gosh.
Bring it on.
Okay.
Dennis,
Where the
I still
super
got you.
Do it
chats?
again.
Super chats.
Turtle, stingrays. Okay. Anyways, how many followers do you all have? I don't know if you want to say on different platforms. I would.
No,
I
no.
have
I
to
think
probably look.
this question was associated when I told him how to look
About
on
eBay.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to go look on my eBay then.
So if you go to how you look at it, if you guys go to your eBay store, and under where your store is, it shows
Here,
you
I'll share
positive
my
feedback,
screen.
items sold, and then it says followers.
Here. So on your store, like
get
you
off your
can
app
see
too.
mine. I have 10,000 followers on eBay.
How many sold items do you have, Kat?
19,000.
Damn it, you beat me. I had 14,000.
Okay, this is gonna blow
you're
your
about
mind.
5K behind, buddy.
Kat, say yours again.
I have 10,000 followers on eBay.
And items sold.
19,000.
794 followers. So just
Yeah.
under 800 followers. 18,000 items sold.
Wow.
I'm still
Yikes.
beating you.
I got
Yeah.
400.
But he only has 1,300 listed. I'm working harder to beat him. That's the problem.
I have 459 followers.
How many items sold?
456.
Okay.
I know, nothing great. Sorry, guys.
I
We all started
have. So I only have 1,100 followers on eBay with 14,000 items sold, and I also have 1,300 items listed.
Oh, we do. Oh no, we're doing. I'm sorry. Let me back up. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry. I looked at the wrong one.
He's looking at his last 90 days.
9,000 items sold.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Let's get my last 90 days.
That's a little bit
9,000.
better.
Yeah. Now I feel a little bit better about myself.
All right. What am I doing? I'm just starting out and I have a lot of jewelry. Should I start jewelry with $100 jewelry or should I start with bread and butter jewelry?
Why not all of them? Your gold, your 925, that's a different category. Lot up a whole bunch of your costume stuff. Kat's either saying this guy knows what he's talking about or this guy's an idiot. That's what I do. Don't worry about, which one to do. List all of it. But make sure you're not mixing, the higher end stuff, the gold, the fine, pieces of jewelry with the crappy stuff. List all that together, your costume, list all the other stuff separately and do comps, see what stuff is going for and you're going to have tons of different listings, which is great. And I think you'll make more money doing it that way.
I just say what that guy says. I don't sell jewelry. That guy.
You have?
Well, yeah. So yeah, okay. Let me back up. So I did find a bunch of bags of free costume jewelry on the side of the road, and they've been selling, but it's not like my niche, right? And I got that from you. I texted you one day. I'm like, dude, I just found a bunch of this jewelry. What do I do with it?
Yep.
Like, lot it up, and that's what I've been doing. But it's not like what I seek after. You know what I mean?
No.
So I know Kat's going to have the right answer for this one, but I normally will take the silver and gold out, and then I'll lot up the rest of it and either throw it on eBay or throw it on whatnot, and that people just buy a giant lot when I sell in like the garage sale category.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would say figure out how much you want to make. So whether that's like $15, $20, and I agree with Dennis. I would list some of all. Like if you have a 10 item listing like limit, if you're really, really new, then I would probably put like 2 or 3 of $100 ones and put the other 7 lower. Because a lot of times with jewelry, the higher dollar ones take a little bit longer because you got to have the right buyer to buy them. Unless if they're named, they're going to sell fast if it's a popular brand. So I would mix it up. And that's what I do like overall for my business model. I have some higher dollar, I have some lower dollar. But for me, like if they're under $15, I'm going to lot them up. That's what I would do. All right. John Doe, what is the advantage of getting an eBay store? I've been selling on there since 2021.
Not bad. So before you even get a store, make sure you have enough listings to even consider the price of your monthly subscription to the store. I think I went up to a store when I had like 250 items or whatever. For me, the biggest benefit is that coupon that comes out once a month. I buy boxes or
Once a quarter.
Or poly mailers. Each quarter. So 4 times a year, you get this awesome coupon that comes out. You can just go to the eBay supplies and order what you need. You will get, you can send, you can have coupons, which I run a coupon all the time. And there's one other big benefit for me, which is, I'm drawing a blank.
I'll say it for you. Sorry, I'll say it for you.
Go ahead.
So the biggest benefit, I think, is you can run those promotions. Without the eBay store, you can't run any promotions, coupons, sales. You don't have the store coupons.
No, I think you can promote. I'm going to correct you there.
Really?
Because so you're allowed to promote, but you can't do sales. We learned that in our chat from people
okay.
that don't
I didn't know
have
that.
stores. Just an FYI.
Shipping discount.
Shipping discount.
That's my other one.
Yeah. What do you got, Rod?
You can also break your items down to certain categories. So let's just say if with the store, you can actually set your own custom categories if you wanted to. But the biggest thing is I would say it's a numbers equation. Just like Dennis was saying, I don't recommend getting a store unless you have over 250 items in your store, because then it makes sense financially that it's actually cheaper for you in the long run to pay for a store than paying the extra money that you would each month for the listing that you're paying for. And then you determine which store is going to be best for you, and you can, and here's the best thing about having a store, you can upgrade or downgrade at any point in time. So even if you do sign up for a store and then you say 2 months down the line, I'm taking a step back, you can reduce your store or get rid of your store. You can always do that back and forth. So, and then you get the shipping discount. The shipping supply is great because, like Dennis said, you go on there, you can order boxes or poly mailers, depending on the store. Not for the cheapest one, but the next 2 levels up, you either get a $25 coupon or a $50 coupon based on your store there.
Yeah, I think everybody covered it, and I agree with Rod. Though I would not have a store if I had under 250. I don't see the benefits to it.
The other benefit would be a newsletter, Kat.
Is that a benefit of a store?
I think so. I think you can only do the newsletter if you have a store.
We need to learn all of these things. Okay. You did. So Serenity's asking, did she hear me say that Tervis Tumblr is going out of business? You did not hear. You might have heard me say it on my video. If you guys missed it, I put out an hour-long thrifting video 2 hours before we started this podcast. And let me tell you, that was a beast to do a voiceover on, but we found so much stuff. So if you haven't seen that, Cat's Treasure Hunting. So everybody knows I have my obsession with Tervis Tumblrs, and so when Tervis Tumblrs announced they were filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the messages started flowing into my inbox and my comments on my channel, because everybody knows I love Tervis. So they filed 11, so they are restructuring, which means they will still remain open. So Tervis is not going out of business, but they did file Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So yeah, but I might have said it in my thrifting video.
They're located in Florida, aren't they?
I think so.
I think
South
the
Florida.
headquarters is in Florida, on West Coast.
I think they are.
Or East Coast, I mean.
Flippin' Freetown says, what is the best way to sell children's books, and is it worth it or not?
Lot them up. Do not sell singular children's books for $4.
Yeah.
$5 with free shipping. I'll even go into like the tween books, the teen, those series that come out and all that stuff. As you can see, I sell a ton of books and media. If it's something that people are going to want in a series, sell the entire series or just pass it over. It's not worth your time for $3, $4, $5. There's so many. If you want to do eBay, lot them up. if you don't want to do eBay, maybe do like a few different series. You can do Marketplace. I know, moms and dads are always looking for like books for their kids and stuff, but I can find books every single day of the week for free on Marketplace and some of the free groups that I belong to. So if you think you're going to make a killing putting them on eBay, it's few and far between. I do like vintage stuff, but the stuff that's mass produced and they're in every single library and bookstore for short money, it's not even worth it. Did you come across a whole bunch of free children's books? If that's the case, lot up the ones that are by author or by series and then list them that way.
Yeah, those are good points. Obviously, I don't sell any books or even look at books, but what Dennis said, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so just like Dennis said, you can find books everywhere. I always tell people, if you are becoming a full-time seller, know your media, because if you go to a yard sale at 8 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, what's always going to be left is going to be media. It's going to be CDs, books, VHS, Blu-rays. So if you know that stuff, or at least what to look for, you can still make a killing on that stuff because you're going to have no competition for it. And when you go to yard sales, I literally buy out totes and boxes of books all the time because, just like he said, lotting them up, what parents want is to look for book series, because kids are very particular to food. They don't eat certain things. They only like to watch certain things, and they'll watch those same things over and over and over again. And when it comes to books, if they find a book series they want every single book in that book series. So parents are looking to buy multiples all the time. So if you guys do find them, lot them up, and they do really well in lots, because you save the parents time from hunting them down.
Yeah. I'm going to say I have nothing to add. I'm not a bookseller, but I will give you 2 channels that I highly recommend if you want to learn about selling books, and that would be Katie Reed's and Mel Back from Burnout. Both of those are amazing booksellers. Mm-hmm. And if you want to learn more about like which books are selling and how to sell books, I would recommend both of those ladies. They are both absolutely amazing. Both of them have been on with us before. And I have nothing to add because I don't. And I'm going to do one more question. It's 10 now. Rod, pick one.
Do something controversial, maybe conspiracy. Do you have anything like that? Anything conspiracy theory, Rod?
What? Question?
Any conspiracy type questions?
No, I don't think we have any of those in here.
Anything close to that?
Are we going with that,
like
Dennis?
Oh, I'm so ready for it. I want to bust it out.
No, I don't know, Kat. I don't see which ones are. Did we go through all these?
We haven't answered. We have a few left.
There we go. Let's do this one right here.
Okay. Charlene says, for beginners, is it okay to only have one type of item to sell, like just jeans or just pillowcases?
That could be a conspiracy theory. I'm going to answer that. I'm going to answer that
right now. He'll be back.
All right.
I'm going to tell you right now that it's the tinfoil hat time. I don't do conspiracy theories, but I am protected.
That's right.
So I will answer your question. It's okay to have whatever you like to sell. And I tell you right now, go around your house and collect whatever you like, whether it be jeans or pillowcases. Used pillowcases don't do very well, but used jeans do.
That's not true. He just lied to you.
It's a conspiracy.
I am protected with the official Pints and Profits tinfoil hat. Whatever I say is my opinion expressed sorely from this hat. It's crimping my brain slightly.
I don't have a hat.
Sell what you like. Sell what you enjoy. I don't like furniture. I don't really like clothing. I like video games. I like toys. I like 80s electronics. I love selling all of that stuff. So for me, it's not work when I go out and look for it. I package it and I sell it. If you are looking for stuff just to sell and you're not enjoying it and you're looking for pillowcases and you hate selling pillowcases, then it's a job. This is just another job, and it's going to be hard for you to get out of bed every day and sell stuff you don't like to sell. Scott sells clothing. I sell 99% not clothing. Why? I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. I don't follow the trends and all that stuff. So sell what you like and you won't work. It's simple as that. You'll enjoy it. So I got to take this thing off. It's hurting my head.
What about you, Scott?
All right. So as a beginner, I think look around your house. You know, if you're not sure what to sell, just look around your house and see what's like you're not using. It could be, you know, an old phone, old shirt, you know, whatever, shoes. Just sell what's around the house. Get used to what sells. Get used to what you like selling, and then move from there.
Yeah, I think you made a good point. You know, excuse me. When you first start selling, you don't know what you're gonna like and what you're not gonna like selling. And walk around your house is the best. I would tell everyone that tells you to start selling first time. Walk around your house, fine. So you're not investing any money into your business, and find that your items you're laying around. Do that. Now, is it okay to just niche down to sell certain items as well? Absolutely, because if I'm gonna, and I always use an example as a camera. If I go to Dennis's store, Dennis is selling everything. He may have 1 or 2 cameras in there. I'm not going to consider him a camera expert. If I go to Scott's store and he has 500 digital cameras in there, I'm going to consider that a camera expert. So if I have any camera questions, I'm going to go to his store instead of Dennis's store because he specifically sells just one simple thing. You know, so there is benefits to niching down, you know, when, you know, if you want to sell a certain category, but there's also advantages to selling everything. So I think they both make good points. Sell what you like, sell what you enjoy. But as a beginner, I recommend selling a wide variety of different things because you want to find out what you like and you don't like. More importantly, what you don't like, so it doesn't become a job.
I'm going to make a more important point than any of them and say it doesn't really matter what you like to sell if you can't find it. So you can want to sell old pillowcases. I love it. I've made hundreds of dollars every month for a very long time on pillowcases. But if I can't find them, it doesn't matter. So same thing with jeans. You could love selling jeans, but if your area doesn't have good brands and popular jeans, you can want to only sell jeans all you want, but you're not going to be able to find them. So that is why I'm an everything seller. I would love to just do vintage linens, but I can't find enough to make the money that I want to make on just vintage linens. So I think the key is you need to find what you like that you can find. And if you can find enough jeans, like Star Flippin' Hippos, she does jeans and plush. Those are her 2 main things. So she found 2 things that she can find that she likes that she sells. It might be jeans and pillowcases for you. You need to be able to find enough of what you want to sell. And I agree with Rod. Like if you have these specialty stores, like the postcard stores, they're making money on it. I get bored very easy too. And that is why I sell everything. I can buy a ton of license plates and then I can go buy Harley pens and then I can go buy linens. And if I'm bored, I'm going to go find something else. You know, I can go buy end tables that I have to box. I'm not going to lie. I don't have to ship anything anymore. I have an employee. So I really don't take shipping into consideration as much as most people would because they have to ship it themselves. So Prissy probably curses me some days. We sold 2 big paintings today. She probably was cursing me today. So yeah, so I don't want to lie about that. I don't think about that as much because I'm not the one doing it anymore. Okay, I'm going to let everybody tell you bye, and then I will tell you what I've got going on. Rod's going to tell you, and everybody's going to tell you where you can find them, and links are in the description if you're watching us back. So here is Dennis.
Guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Please check out our channel. Scott and I do a weekly podcast that centers around reselling and craft beer. We have a ton of ton of guests that are going to be joining us in the next 6 weeks. Some people are resellers only. Some people are craft beer people only. So it should be a lot of fun. We're also going to be at the Cape Cod Brew Fest out here on Cape Cod, where they feature 50 different breweries from around the region. And we will be drunk and we'll be Ubering. So again, thanks very much. Thank you to Rod and Kat for having us. I really appreciate it, and it was a lot of fun.
Perfect. Here's Scott.
Yeah, that was great, Dennis. You took everything I was going to say. So yeah, guys. So like Dennis said, we do the Pints and Profits YouTube show. Comes out weekly. We discuss the craft beer. We're bringing on resellers. We're talking about personal, stories. We got the conspiracy tinfoil hat. You can see the description and the link in the description. Come check us out. It's a good time. So
What about your TikTok?
Oh yeah, so I have an Instagram which is Fisher Flips, and a TikTok, and I believe is I don't know what the underscores are, but just look up Fisher Flips on TikTok. I don't know what a lot of them are.
He's on there somewhere. Just find them.
They're on there
Just find
somewhere.
I dropped the brand new video today on my Picking Punting channel. If you guys are wondering where I have been on my card channel and on my flipping and punching channel, I got sick. I've been sick for like the last 2 weeks, so I had to take a break for about a week, and now I will be putting out new videos this week. I just ran through my backlog, and I got really sick and fell behind on everything. So I do apologize, but in 2 weeks, guys, I am doing a massive whatnot. It's going to be 2 weeks from today. It's going to be on a Tuesday, from right before the show starts. But I am blowing out my Disney pin sets and my frame pin things. So those Disney ones that go for 50, 100, 150 bucks, I'm starting everything at $1. Lennox, everything for $1, guys. A $1 super show in 2 weeks to the date on the 24th. So go find it on Whatnot. It's called the $1 crazy $1 Disney show.
I think I'm going to do a $1 crazy knickknack show coming up on jewelry and blow stuff out. So beware.
Copycat.
Like we're gonna blow through it. My friend Shannon's been helping me organize my Whatnot show.
Love it.
Next week we're gonna have 3 queens resale, and Gino's Finds, the maker of the majority of the super chats that you see here. And I dropped my 1 hour thrift. If you really like thrifting a lot, I dropped a 1 hour video on my cat's treasure hunting earlier, and tomorrow will be all of my Poshmark sales. So that $1,000 week, I'm going to show you everything I sold on Posh. And then later this week, I'm researching jeans. So the jeans video did very well. These are going to be 20 jeans that sold for $500. They're all $500 jeans. So it's a research video. And then, yeah. Oh, don't forget, if you're a member, Thursday night is the live listing reviews. And then Saturday is going to be live sourcing. So we got a lot for the members coming up. Dennis, Scott, thank you. Rod, thank you for coming back.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Everybody out there, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye, guys.
Yeah.